send his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is the defending world champion. He wears maroon with blue and gold trim. He scaled at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds, bang on. His professional record, also a perfect one. 16 fights, 16 victories, 12 of them coming by way of knockout. Hard-hitting Honduran 2016 Olympian is widely recognized as one of the best active fighters on the planet. This 2020 Fighter of the Year makes his 7th appearance right here at Madison Square Garden, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, USA. Is the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF, WBO, WBA, WBC franchise, and Ring Magazine lightweight champion of the world, Teófimo Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the three-weight world champion, and tonight
it is Shakur Stevenson fast becoming a superstar.
Across the ring, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing black with paint and weighing in officially at 134.1 pounds. Hailing from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, USA, a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 22 wins, 10 of those 22 wins coming by way of knockout. The reigning and defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson!
This is not just another elite matchup. This is a pound-for-pound collision with massive championship implications and global PPV appeal. Shakur Stevenson, one of boxing's most technically gifted champions, brings surgical defense, elite ring IQ, and world-class footwork that has dismantled champions across multiple weight classes. Across from him stands Teófimo López, a former unified champion and explosive pay-per-view star who shocked the world by dethroning Vasily Lomachenko and redefining his legacy overnight. This fight is about precision versus power, discipline versus unpredictability, and legacy versus ambition. One clean counter, one perfectly timed combination could instantly swing momentum and rewrite boxing history when elite skill meets knockout threat on the sport's biggest stage. The result is always high risk, high reward, and unforgettable. Shakur Stevenson's career has been built on dominance through intelligence and control. An Olympic silver medalist, Shakur captured world titles in multiple divisions, defeating elite opponents with unmatched defense, accuracy, and composure under pressure. Many analysts already rank him among the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Teófimo López's rise, however, has been fueled by explosiveness, confidence, and fearless ambition. His historic victory over Lomachenko made him a global boxing superstar, proving his ability to perform under extreme pressure and deliver when expectations are highest. While Stevenson thrives on precision and tactical mastery, Lopez relies on athleticism, timing, and devastating power shots that can end a fight instantly. This matchup represents a modern boxing classic: elite skill versus championship mentality, with both fighters chasing legacy-defining greatness. At the explosive press conference, Teófimo López delivered a fierce warning to Shakur Stevenson, promising to dominate inside the ring. Labeled the underdog, López embraced the narrative, vowing to expose underestimation as a costly mistake. He guaranteed an elite-level performance, fueled by championship experience, fight IQ, knockout power, and relentless hunger, assuring fans a high-stakes boxing showdown that will redefine pound-for-pound debates.
They know that. They kept that protection program.
Money talk, walk. Money talk.
Teófimo López enters his showdown with Shakur Stevenson, driven by pure determination and elite confidence. Locked in and battle-ready, López promises total control inside the ring, aiming to showcase his explosive power, championship-level skills, and fight IQ, fully focused on victory and proving he belongs among boxing's elite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a coquito.
Teófimo López makes it absolutely clear that he has no intention of letting Shakur Stevenson take the championship he fought relentlessly to earn. He highlights the elite sacrifices behind his rise, explaining that the belt represents years of pain, discipline, and non-stop grind at the highest level of boxing. For Lopez, this bout is about legacy protection and defending everything he built through blood, sweat, and mental toughness. Fueled by confidence and pride, he is fully locked in to dominate the ring, believing no opponent can steal what was earned through dedication, sacrifice, and championship-level commitment.
Of being in the ring,
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson. Obviously,
sure.
you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face-to-face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this. And I'm not taking nothing from him. But I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing.
Okoye delivers a sharp tactical breakdown of the Shakur Stevenson versus Teófimo López championship showdown, predicting a high-level 12-round pay-per-view chess match rather than an early stoppage. He explains that the opening 6 rounds will be critical, as Stevenson is unlikely to start aggressively. Instead, Shakur is expected to operate off the back foot, using elite defense, ring IQ, and timing to download data and read Lopez's intentions. If Teofimo can convincingly control the early rounds with speed, power, and explosiveness, it could force Stevenson to adjust his game plan in the later stages, increasing drama and competitiveness. Lopez is labeled a classic frontrunner dangerous early, fueled by momentum-raising questions about whether he can maintain that elite intensity deep into a world title fight. Okoye believes that if Shakur falls behind early, he will be compelled to open up in the championship rounds, creating a thrilling primetime finish with legacy implications. However, if Lopez drops the early rounds, Stevenson's precision and experience could carry him to a dominant unanimous decision. Ultimately, this bout is a high-stakes, elite-level strategic battle where energy management, round-by-round execution, and championship composure will decide the winner.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually.
Shakur Stevenson explains that his motivation is fueled by an intense competitive mindset and an obsession with proving greatness at the highest level of professional boxing. When studying Teófimo López's past performances, Stevenson was impressed by his explosive confidence, elite athleticism, and flashy ring IQ qualities that reminded him of a young Roy Jones Jr. That comparison sparked a serious desire to challenge himself against a dangerous, high-value opponent. Stevenson sees this potential matchup as a career-defining moment, a premium opportunity to measure his skills against an elite-level fighter while adjusting to new tactics and fight dynamics. Reflecting on his tough bout against William Zepeda, Stevenson admits the pressure-heavy style was uncomfortable and physically demanding, but it became a turning point in his development. That fight proved he could stay composed under relentless pressure and thrive in adversity. He learned that aggressive volume punches are meant to test his limits, and he passed that test. Now preparing for Lopez, Stevenson feels fully equipped to handle elite speed, knockout power, and unpredictable exchanges. His championship experience, tactical intelligence, and mental discipline give him confidence that he can control the fight, showcase elite defense, and solidify his legacy on boxing's biggest stage.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy, like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy, and I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down.
Chris Algieri breaks down the massive significance of the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez showdown, calling it a defining moment for elite-level boxing and the global pay-per-view market. He strongly supports high-risk, high-reward matchups where pound-for-pound talents face each other without fear, explaining that true superstars remain elite even after setbacks. Algieri believes this fight perfectly represents that championship mindset. Rather than a reckless slugfest, fans can expect a masterclass in ring IQ, precision, and tactical brilliance. The technical excellence, defensive genius, and calculated offense will captivate hardcore fans and casual viewers alike. According to Algieri, a decisive win for Shakur Stevenson would firmly place him among the top 5 to 7 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, a status many analysts already credit him with. He describes the bout as a throwback clash, reminiscent of legendary rivalries where skill, legacy, and boxing history were on the line. This fight proves that high-level boxing remains profitable, meaningful, and electrifying in the modern era.
For the health of boxing on this side of the world, Listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made. And putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo López kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit when you look at the strategy? Yes, no?
I'm going to say well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo López. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever been around.
Mercurial, we could say.
I mean,
yes.
But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks. And it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So he's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to kind of to poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulie, that's a huge. You're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him, man.
But I'll tell you what. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights.
Bruce Carrington delivers a sharp breakdown of Teófimo López' upcoming clash with Shakur Stevenson, pointing out a critical weakness that could decide this high-stakes pay-per-view showdown. According to Carrington, Lopez often struggles against elite fighters who use constant movement, smart angles, and elite ring IQ. While Lopez is known for explosive power, fast hands, and championship-level athleticism, those strengths can be neutralized by an opponent who controls distance and dictates tempo. Shakur Stevenson's calm composure, defensive mastery, and precision footwork allow him to disrupt rhythm and force opponents into costly mistakes. Carrington explains that Stevenson's ability to maintain spacing and reset after every combination could lure Lopez into overcommitting, draining his energy over later rounds. Although Lopez thrives in aggressive exchanges and highlight real moments, relying too heavily on raw power may backfire against a patient, technically superior boxer. Stevenson's elite timing, ring awareness, and tactical discipline could slowly break Lopez down without engaging in unnecessary risks. Ultimately, Carrington suggests that unless Lopez evolves his movement, patience, and strategic approach, Stevenson's technical brilliance and championship mindset may prove too advanced, showing that in elite boxing, intelligence and precision often outperform power alone.
Like, Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see just because southpaw that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. You know, only time he's open. So yeah. Other than that, bro, it's gonna be a pretty tough night for Teofimo Lopez, but I feel like it's still.
Gary Antoine Russell delivers a sharp, insightful breakdown of Teófimo López, focusing on the elite version of the fighter rather than broad assumptions about his skill set. He highlights Lopez's masterclass performance against Vasily Lomachenko as the perfect blueprint, showing how Lopez excels when explosive aggression is paired with elite ring IQ and control. Russell explains that Lopez reaches peak dominance when he stays calm under pressure, applies intelligent forward momentum, and forces opponents into high-risk situations while limiting counter opportunity. This rare mix of speed, power, and discipline makes him a nightmare matchup. When Lopez fully commits to his strategy dictating pace, leveraging athleticism and timing shots with precision, he can decisively win rounds and neutralize even world-class opponents.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, look, like you said, the first thing you said was bluffing McMuffin, right? So you don't think that he's gonna do that. Let's just say that's the case. Let's say he wins this fight, but or he doesn't win this fight. Whatever happens.
Right, because you made a statement after he said all that. I'm gonna go back down to 35. So which one is it, man? He kind of 6'7" with it.
There you go.
Come on, which one is it?
So let's talk about 140 then, because obviously there's other champions there. One who you've been going back and forth with recently online, one that you have history with, and you got other guys, Subriel there, somebody else you had history, Richardson Hitchens. What's the route for you going forward after your next fight?
After my next fight, unify. I've always let it be known. I want to be undisputed in my division. I want to unify. Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary, just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now. This fight, your fight coming up, you know, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight somebody.
Russell explains that Teófimo López, explosive speed and knockout power become far more dangerous when combined with elite ring IQ and calculated patience. By breaking down the fight against Vasily Lomachenko, he shows that Lopez's dominance isn't just raw athletic ability, but smart decision-making, precise timing, and championship-level focus. This tactical discipline allows Lopez to land high-impact shots while staying defensively sound, proving that strategy and composure elevate him into a truly elite pay-per-view caliber threat.
Fight to a degree. You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. You know, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot in his arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know, but if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko.
As fight night approaches, the strategic chess match becomes the defining factor. Stevenson's defensive brilliance, footwork, and counterpunching suggest a calculated performance designed to neutralize Lopez's explosive offense and control the pace over championship rounds. However, Lopez's knockout power, speed, and ability to rise in big moments make him a constant danger even against the most disciplined opponents. One mistimed entry or momentary lapse could result in a sudden fight-changing knockout. Expect high-level adjustments, intense mental warfare, and moments that could swing momentum in seconds. Whether this super fight ends in a masterclass decision or a dramatic stoppage, the winner solidifies elite pound-for-pound status, increases global market value, and takes a major step toward boxing immortality. This is legacy boxing, where greatness is proven, not promised. That wraps up today's explosive boxing breakdown. Stay locked in for premium fight analysis, exclusive combat insights, and high-impact championship content in our next adrenaline-fueled upload.